Launched in September, the One Roar Fund will serve as a vehicle to help all 31 of Columbia's varsity athletics programs and club sports to compete at the highest level. We remain committed to providing our student athletes with the best resources available to help them achieve their goals. Although competition has been postponed, the competitive fire within our student athletes still burns as they await the call to return to athletic events. One Roar will provide our 700-plus student athletes with the necessary resources to stay in prime shape, mentally sharp, and above all, healthy and safe, as we await the continuation of Ivy League play. Together, we roar as one.
Welcome back, everybody, to Conversations with the Staff. Tonight, we're joined with Coach Joe DeRazio. Joe is in his second stint at Columbia. He's currently our running backs coach and rejoined the staff back in 2018. When Coach Bagnoli first got here in 2015, he was hired as our tight ends coach. Joe, thanks for joining us tonight.
Awesome. It's great to be here, Greg. Thanks for having me.
So we'll jump right into it. Everybody wants to know, what are you looking for in a running back when you're recruiting running backs?
Absolutely. So my favorite thing about coaching running backs is that a lot of times running backs aren't really coached that much. And so when I look at a film, a lot of kids' high school films, their beginning runs, their first 5-6 runs on their film are going to be their long runs, right? Their home runs. But a lot of times the running back will take the ball, especially in high school, run straight and not do anything. And so while long runs are great, right? Touchdowns are cool. We love them. When I'm watching a film, I'm looking for what I call running back traits. So what does the running back do on each play that tells me that he's going to be successful in college? And so, again, we love those long touchdown runs, but my favorite run on a kid's film could be in the fifth minute of his highlight, right? Because he does different things. And so the things that I'm looking for, right? So the running back traits that I'm looking for, the first one is what I call accelerated vision. And so vision is used a lot in the running back position. But a lot of times vision means we're reacting to what we see. And one of the things that I like to tell our guys at Columbia is that we're in control. Right, linebackers are reading us, which means that we can manipulate them. And so when you think about the defense, right, the defensive line, the first level, those are the ones where we're reacting off of vision. The linebacker level or safety walked up, the second level, we're reacting, we're manipulating them with our head, our eyes, and our shoulders. And so vision, reacting off what you see is great, but I like to see accelerated vision. So can that running back manipulate, right, what he's the defense, and so that he's going to make the move. And so you need to know what you're going to do before you do it rather than reacting off what you see. So that's the most important thing from the running back position, in my opinion. The second one is speed is great, right? 40-yard dashes are cool. But I like to see control of speed, change of speed. So can you accelerate, but also can you slow down? In order to make a third level defender miss, right, a safety, a DB, you need to be able to slow down. And so if you're someone who's out of control, who's too fast but can't slow down, you're going to struggle to make people miss. The third thing is balance and body control. So does that person, can they operate on a single leg, right? Do they take a hit from the side, but they're able to continue to gain extra yards? And then the fourth thing, athletic trait, is what I like to call bobblehead. So as you're watching their film, right, is their helmet in one level? Or when they're coming in and out of cuts, is that helmet level changing? So a lot of times guys whose helmet levels don't change, right, they're what people call one cut runners, which kind of just means they're a little stiff. And so I like to see guys who can bend in and out of their cuts in order to maximize their steps, right, to take the most efficient steps possible. And then the most important thing is the person, right? And so we'll have 60 running backs and their film might look the same, right? It might be indistinguishable, and they're a high school kid. The hardest part about recruiting is predicting who's going to be good, right? If you define good on playing time, which is an incomplete definition. And so the most important thing is getting to know that person, right? When you evaluate their film, when you see that, and then seeing who are going to be the people that are going to add to the running back room, are going to add to the offense for Columbia, and then are going to add to the team. And so what I like my ruler for that, we talk in the running back room a lot about lazy river people. And so if you think about lazy river in an amusement park, right, that you just kind of float along, right? That's the ride. And I don't like lazy river people in life. And so when I talk to a recruit, right, in this Corona time, when we're FaceTime with them, I want someone who fires me up. If I get someone who's going to sit back there and is going to give me nothing, no juice, right, no energy, no something special, no spark, not someone that I want in the running back room at Columbia. And so I think if you can get people who are talented athletically that also have that something special about them, when you're sitting down and you're talking to them and you're like, wow, this person is going to do awesome things in life, not only as a college student athlete. I think that's, the most important thing after we look at all those physical running back traits, not just those big home runs.
No lazy river people. I love it.
No lazy rivers.
So, drilling down, what are some of your favorite or in your mind most impactful drills that you run at practice during the week to get the running backs ready for game day? Absolutely.
So again, the reason that I love coaching running backs, and I was fortunate enough to learn the running back position at a high level. But when you think, if you're just a casual fan and you're observing a football practice, a football camp, everything you see mimics a game. If you're an offensive lineman, you're watching them do drills, they're doing run blocking drills. They're doing pass setting drills. If you're watching receivers, they are running routes. And those same exact routes, those same exact run blocks happen on the field. Sometimes with the running back position, right, you look over and it's like, okay, let's line up 6 bags, 1 foot in the bag. Okay, now 2. Okay, now shuffle through. Now shuffle through, plant, and come back. That's great, right? Those are speed and agility drills, but we have an unbelievable strength staff that does that already. And so for whatever reason, I think in the running back position, a lot of the drills are speed and agility drills, but then I struggle to find where they happen on the field. And I do think that's something that's unique to the running back position in football because, again, every position you can look at, right? Defensive line, they rush the passer, you're going to rush the passer during the game. It's the same exact thing. But a lot of times running back, their drills are speed and agility drills. And while they're great, you can't find where they happen on the film. And so my favorite drill that we do is just our inside zone drill, which is a reading and reacting drill. And so again, when we talked about reacting off of the first level, right? So we'll have a bag, a pop-up, and then manipulating the second level. And so the running back is telling that bag or that pop-up where to go. And again, it's in a controlled environment, but it is the same exact thing, right? When you watch the drill that happens on the field. And again, my favorite drill, and we run it over and over again, trying to create that muscle memory, right? Those reactions. And so the biggest thing with the running back position is enabling them to train that muscle memory so they don't have to think on the field, right? So that they can be an artist, so that they can let their creativity show, which is something we talk about a lot in the running back room. And so I would say that, that inside zone drill is my baby, and something that, if you come to practice, it's probably going to be, what we're doing, and spending a lot of time doing that, trying to recreate those same exact situations that happen on the field. If I can't find where it happens on the field, I'm not gonna waste my time doing it.
There's definitely some improvisation by the running backs.
Absolutely,
So
and you got to be your own self, And again, that's what in our room, right? We have last year 9-10 guys, and no two people are going to do it the same. No two people look the same. Different shapes, different sizes. Be who you are, right? Be who you are.
I love it. And, you've kind of mentioned why you love the running back position, but, the next question I've been asking all our coaches is what do you love about the running back position?
Yeah, so I am a former, I was an offensive lineman, so I'm a fat guy. Although I played center, so I did get to touch the ball every play. But I've been lucky in my coaching career to coach a lot of different positions, right? To coach tight ends, wide receivers, defensive line, linebackers, and now running backs. And so one of the things, probably the biggest thing is that a running back can kind of, can take control of the game, right? There's going to be times where you perfectly design a play and it works, right? Like those high school films, you perfectly design it, you run straight, you score, right? Everybody's happy. But that's not real life. That's certainly not college football. And so I think the attitude aspect, right? Everyone's going to do it differently, but at the end, you need to be a dude. And so in the running back room, our responsibility that we talk about is gaining 2 yards on every play after we get hit. So if we get a linebacker who runs through the A gap and we get hit at the mesh, right? We're not blaming people. We're not complaining. We just need to get 2 yards. So if we get hit 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, we need to get -3. If we get hit 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, we have to get 3 yards. If we get hit 7 yards down, we need to get 9. If we get hit 20, we got to get 22. And if we can take that ownership from the running back room for those 2 yards on every play, no matter what happens, whether it's a huge play or whether it's a loss, right? Taking responsibility for those 2 yards, we can control the game. And so I think that, again, that the different personalities that we get to work with in the running back room, right? Nine guys, none, no two who are the same. But the energy that you get to bring from the running back room and the ability to take control of the game is kind of what I love.
It definitely is a very unique position back there. So, you've been around the league a little bit. You played at Ivy League school. You've been at Columbia for a number of years now. What's something about New York City, about Columbia, that you think is unique, or something that surprised you that you didn't think was going to be the case when you first arrived?
So, when I first got here 5 years ago, I'd been through, the Ivy League student athlete recruiting process and had driven down Broadway past Columbia, but never went into the campus. And so obviously the campus at Columbia is unbelievable, right? That's unique. It's special. There's a feeling about that. But also the city. When I graduated college, a lot of my friends, right, who were doing the finance thing, they all moved to New York, and I would come and I would visit. And I always said to myself, love visiting New York City, but could never live here, right? That's what I told myself. It's a lot, right? And visiting and living in the city are two completely different things, right? Two completely different experiences where you're, you're in here for one weekend, you want to squeeze out all these experiences versus actually living here. And I think that obviously New York City is what makes us unique. Ivy League football is special. I think that I'm a fan of Ivy League football, and all the schools are great, but we're the only one who has New York City. And so I think that's my favorite thing about the city, right, is that there's that tangible energy that you can feel, right? You have a bad day, and then you walk to West Side Market to get dinner, and you see every walk of life, but there's that energy that kind of pulls you out of those ruts. Whereas other places I've been, it's easy to have a bad day that turns into like 2 bad days, and all of a sudden you were like, okay, wow, that was a week, right? But New York City kind of pulls you out of that, and then all of those neighborhoods in the city are all different and unique, which is super cool.
It is a special place, very unique. The question everybody wants to know, obviously you've had your time in New York, got to explore a little bit. What's your favorite place to eat in New York? Do you have a favorite?
When people actually ask me this question, or when recruits ask me this question, I would say you have to specify by the type of food, because it's impossible to pick one place. And obviously we know the food scene in New York City is unbelievable. The Italian food, like the Mexican joints. But if I go off of frequency of times that I've eaten at a place, and this is going to be a little bit probably different than some other people have answered this question, because it's not a fancy restaurant, it's a fast food place. But my favorite place in New York is Sticky's Finger Joint. And I don't know if you've been there, Greg, but I'm a big chicken finger guy. And now it's a chain that's actually kind of taken off. They have a lot of locations around the city and North Jersey now. But I've eaten at Sticky's way too many times. And if you ever go to their Instagram, you can probably see why. And so I love the Italian food. I love all the unique places, but Sticky's is the number one place that I've eaten over these past 3 years of being back. Although
Sticky's is a great call. It's a great call.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I will give a special shout out though, because I just moved back to the Columbia campus area. So in the Manhattanville campus, the new buildings, there's a place called Dear Mama Coffee. And so it's in one of the buildings. It's in one of the glass buildings. And it's like a breakfast lunch joint. Since I've been back, I think I've had everything on their menu at this point, because, supporting small businesses and I like to eat. But it's unbelievable. They have the best breakfast burrito in New York City, not only by taste, but also by name, because it's the Cardi burrito. So that's fun.
I love it. I'll have to get down there and try it. So, I know you've been here for a number of years, 2 different stints, but what are your favorite running back memories since you've been coaching the running backs?
I think there's a lot of smaller micro memories that probably aren't exciting or would not resonate as to why they're special for me, because I like to think about the little things and celebrate those little things. But I think that homecoming last year against Penn from the running back room was special. We had six running backs carry the ball in that game. And then when you think about the second to last drive, running the same play, essentially a quarterback sneak given to the running back over and over and over and over again, all the way till we got to the goal line and scored a touchdown. When you talk about controlling a game, right, that homecoming game, rushing for all the yards we rushed for in that game, but also having it be a complete room game where everybody contributed. I think that was obviously a pretty special day for Columbia football, but also for the running back room, something that, I'll always remember.
That was definitely a fun one. So, Coach, we're trying to get to know you guys, a little bit about your football philosophy and a little bit off the field. Do you have any special talents or hobbies?
Well, I will say that in quarantine, I fell into like all of the typical quarantine checklist, right? I've been cooking a lot, been doing the pizza thing. Pizza's been my thing during quarantine. Bought the Peloton. So I've been all the stereotypes I've been checking off. Nothing too exciting. I do love reading, and one of my favorite things, combining reading with New York City. Now, Coach Mack will tell you it's not reading if you listen to an audiobook, but one of my favorite things to do is to take the train all the way down in the summertime, pre-pandemic, take the train all the way down to World Trade Center, throw headphones in, and just kind of walk back up. And like I said, each neighborhood in the city has a different personality and vibe. And so you can kind of feel those different things, feel the energy about the city, walk through, listen to a book, stop, every hour and a half at a coffee shop, do a little bit of work. stop at an hour and a half, do a little bit of work. And again, those have been some of my favorite days in the city. We're just wandering right for miles all the way back up to my apartment. And so kind of combining the reading with the love of New York City. And I'll say that's probably a hobby too, is just seeing all the different things. New York City truly has something for everybody, and things that, that I've experienced, whether I'm not a museum person, but have done things like that have, I've learned from and that have been pretty cool since I've been here.
I think audiobooks count. It's still got book in the name. All right, Coach, that was it. Thank you so much. And in typical fashion, I'll leave it to you to close out. Anything you got to say to the alumni or fans?
The first thing that I would say is thank you. Thank you for your support. I know this past year has been rough, and we cannot wait to get back on the field as much as you guys cannot wait to see us back out there. And I think that the people, again, when you talk about the people that are in our program, the student athletes on our team, we have some really special human beings, some special players. And I think that when we do get back out there, when we can have fun again out on the football field, when we can have games and welcome all of you guys back, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And so thank you for your continued support, and can't wait to see you soon.
Now that we've heard from Coach D'Orazio, we're going to sit down here with Marquavious Moore. Quay is a senior running back. He played in 23 games as a running back and on special teams in his career. In the 2019 season, we definitely put him in a lot of crucial downs, third and short to get the first down. And we named him our Maniotti Remmer Unsung Hero Award winner for the 2019 season. Quay, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
So we want to hear it from a player. So what is it like playing for Coach D'Orazio? What's he like in the meeting room, on the practice field, on game day?
Yeah, it's so crazy because he's so knowledgeable. Like, he may be one of the most knowledgeable coaches that I've ever met. But he also brings it in a way that you can understand, especially with a certain age group, right? Like, you have to be able to communicate in a way that your players will understand. So he does that in a pretty creative way. And creative, I'm being very, very nice with that word, because sometimes we would go out to practice and this guy would have like all types of drills set up, and we're like, what is this? Like, what are we supposed to do? But he would break it down, and it would make sense. When we go back to the film, he would show the instances in actual game plays where we are doing that drill. And so I just thought that was brilliant. And then besides that, he is definitely involved with your personal life, regardless if you want him to be or not. Like, he's going to check in. He's going to make sure, like, you're okay. And sometimes that makes you uncomfortable, especially when, someone is pushing you to be better or pushing you to reach something that sometimes you can't see within yourself. So that's something that I've been being more grateful for, especially since I'm about to graduate.
I know Coach D'Orazio has been up in the booth on game days, but do you have any insight as to what he's like on game day?
Yeah, I mean, we have limited conversations during the game, actually. Since he is in the booth a lot, he would communicate through other coaches if we needed to talk. But basically, throughout the week, we prep for game day so that he doesn't have to be with us, Like, we know if we made a mistake or not. And he's not that coach that's going to be like, oh, you made a mistake right there, because we know that we made that mistake, right? So I thought just having that perspective and putting that trust within us was super dope. Also, how we practiced throughout the week, our position group, we became our coaches as well, right? So he would break it down for us to understand individually, so that in the game, we can come back. We know personally we made a mistake. And our teammates can help us out with any issues where, oh, like, what did I miss? Right? And I think that's a big advantage for us because, again, the guy is so knowledgeable, and his eye just in a more collective view is very beneficial for the team.
Awesome. Thanks so much again, and good luck finishing out the semester.
Thank you. Thanks.
Next week on Conversations with the Staff, we'll sit down with tight ends coach Mark Fabish.